Does Sean McVay have a Kyle Shanahan problem?
Yeah, I got a huge Shanahan problem, and the Rams need to be on high alert. Here is why the Rams are susceptible to losing to the 49ers this weekend, and it is very simple. What the Rams do well, what Kyle Shanahan does well, the great pieces for the Rams are not allowed to be maximally great because of the 49ers' strengths. So the Rams have a lockdown cornerback in Jalen Ramsey.
Yes.
But you need somebody to lock down. The Rams have an elite pass rusher in Von Miller, but you better hope they pass the ball. The Rams have an elite interior lineman who can get pressure on a quarterback in Aaron Donald, but you need something to pressure. The fact is, the 49ers do not allow the Rams greats to be great just by nature of how they call their game. I'm going to get into something even in more detail tomorrow, but for today, I'll give it to you like this.
Tease them, baby.
Through 9 weeks of ball, Deebo Samuel had 7 carries. Through 9 weeks of ball, the first 9 weeks of the season, Deebo Samuel, the great Deebo Samuel we've seen dominate the running back position, he only had 7 carries, but get this. In week 10, Deebo Samuel had 7 carries alone.
Okay.
So through the first 9 weeks, Deebo has 7 carries. Week 10, Deebo has 7 carries alone. Why? I wonder who the heck the 49ers played in week 10. They played the Los Angeles Rams for the first time. Kyle Shanahan realized in that moment, oh, Jalen Ramsey, you're a lockdown cornerback. Deebo Samuel's an all-pro caliber receiver. But you, a cornerback, can't guard a receiver if he's in the backfield. All of a sudden, you go from having 7 carries in 9 weeks, 7 carries in 1 week. The only reason that Deebo Samuel stopped at 7 carries was because the game was already out of hand, 31-7, if I am not mistaken, at that point in time. So you have a Shanahan problem, Rams, because you have a Deebo Samuel problem. You have a Kyle Shanahan problem because Kyle Shanahan is beating you, Sean McVay, at this game of chess. He is using and manipulating all of the pieces he has to make sure that your incredible pieces, the queens that you have on this chessboard, cannot in a maximal way get his pieces in check. That is why Sean McVay and the Rams got a Shanahan problem.
I'm with you. I'm going to echo this from the top of the mountains as well. In Los Angeles, out here, Santa Ana winds are coming right now. And they're not coming from Santa Ana. They're coming from San Francisco. Boy, they're going to try and blow these Rams down. Big Shanahan problem, but here's the thing. It's about to get fixed. Let's talk about that 0-6 record. There's not much to discuss if you want to stay on the surface. 0-6 just says it all. Sean McVay, guru, genius, been to a Super Bowl, and you're an 0 against someone in the league? He's also 0-2 against the Green Bay Packers and Matt LaFleur. But traffic cop steered away from that situation. Now he has to deal with 0-6 instead of the 0-2 Green Bay situation. Whoa. What's going to happen now? Let me tell you, there are 2 scoreboards always in every football game. Forget the 0-6. Let's dive deeper than that. Psychologically, and then obviously the points. You saw the first game against the 49ers this year. Got smoked, right? Second game, what were the Rams doing? Even though they lost that game, were they up 17 donut? Yes, they were. Were they in that game all of a sudden realizing that we don't have to fight at the end as hard for the divisional championship in our seeding because it's already locked in? I think that factored into that end result. So you add up the psychological scoreboard and you start to realize, oh, things are changing in terms of the complexion of these games. You look at the Rams now against the 49ers, it's not just 0-6. It's where is this heading? What direction are the Rams going versus what are the 49ers? You can see that the Rams outperform the 49ers in some major statistical categories that matter. Penalties, second fewest with the Rams. You look at the 49ers, third most. Hidden yards, momentum killers, et cetera, all going to come into play. You look at the Rams all of a sudden, what are they? They are a team that is really playing well right now in terms of scoring points and obviously stopping the opponents from scoring points. You add all that up, 32 points a game, 19 points given up in the postseason. We're a different team that you faced before. And we saw that in the points scored first meeting, second meeting, and this game. I think the Rams finally get over that hump because you can see the arrow is now pointing up.
Here's the problem, though, for the Rams, and let's personalize this in real football terms that y'all don't always get, so I'm going to break down a couple secrets for you. In football, you always believe that you can win, unless you don't, and unless you can't. See, the Niners, because they've now come back from down 17-0 against the Rams, If they start trailing in this game, they'll continue to believe, oh, we can come back because we've done it before. The Niners in the first matchup, they blew the Rams out. So if they take a lead in this game, oh, we'll blow these boys out because we've done it before.
Yeah.
So the Niners aren't going to be skeptical of anything because they've done both. If you watch that Bucs-Rams game this past weekend, when the Bucs were trailing, you go into halftime and Tom Brady's been down 28-3. So when he was down 20-3, it's nothing in that locker room to believe he can come back down from down 28-3 or from 20-3 because he's already done it before.
Yeah.
You take another quarterback, another system, another scheme, another team. Oh, they're not coming back from that. It's blouses. Because before you can win the scoreboard on the field, to Sel's point, you always have to be able to win the battle within your mind. Can we actually do what we're attempting to do? What do they say? 90% of the game is mental and 10% is physical. And when you think about it, is the Niners at this point, they have the mental advantage by far and away. 6-0 since 2019 is Kyle Shanahan against Sean McVay. Obviously, Sean McVay got some early dubs when he first joined the Los Angeles Rams. However, the Niners have nothing to be afraid of because they've already beat these dudes. Here's the big mistake that the Rams and Sean McVay made, Sel.
What's that?
Sean McVay did not view the Niners as who they really are. And the Niners are like termites. And, you know, if you got termites in your crib, you got to get rid of them all at once, extinct, while you can. Because if you don't, they will come back and they will spread and they will continue to be a thorn in your side and a pest. The Rams could have got rid of the Niners in Week 18 had they just won at the end of the season. Niners not even in the playoffs, you wouldn't even have to worry about it. But because you didn't, here come these Niners again. And you got to do more than worry. You got to prepare.
It sounds like you're not going to pick the Rams to win this game, even though before the season you picked.
I have to.
Oh, okay. You're making a strong argument against yourself. But you know what? Let me tell you this. You hear this statement that Superman has his kryptonite, right? So obviously Sean McVay, if you want to call him Superman, the genius he is, has his kryptonite in Kyle Shanahan, right? Most people hear that statement and say, oh, man, a weakness for Superman. But people got to understand, I look at it like, whoa, what a strength Superman must be. Because only one thing out there can bring you back down to reality. Only one thing can make you human. Only one thing can show you your mortality. And so far in Sean McVay's career, his kryptonite, what has shown him mortality, are the San Francisco 49ers. But what starts to happen when you face your fears over and over again? You're not as scared. What happens when you have to face the demon over and over again? You start to figure out how to exercise that same demon. So let's look at this situation. People think I'm talking out my. Last year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers played the Saints. Not once. Got spanked. Not twice. Got spanked. And saw them again in the postseason and how that turned out. All I'm saying is we're setting ourselves up for the same type of reality, the same type of result. They are now learning how to beat that team. They are learning how to deal with that kryptonite. They're learning how to exercise that demon. Let me tell you what. In the 6 matchups that they've lost, they've averaged 18 points a game. What are they averaging right now in this postseason alone? 32. You think they're going to come down to earth just because they're facing the 49ers?
The Packers did, and they came below them.
No. First of all, Aaron Rodgers did, and the Packers. We're going to get to that, but that's what they've been trending to do. That's not what the Rams are trending to do. When you're having that matchup against an individual, against a team, even if they're winning on the complexion, on the surface, everyone's like, dog, he winning against you. You are in the lab mentally doing calculus to try to figure out this equation, try to figure this situation out. And Sean McVay, I trust, will figure this situation out right now because it matters most, and his team is playing its best. Matthew Stafford, all of those demons he had from Detroit in the postseason, he's exercised those. Look at it, Odell Beckham and the demons he had from Cleveland, he's exercised those. Like everything, Von Miller and his injuries and some of his regression, people were saying, he's exercised those. All of these things are adding up for finally Superman to be at full strength and to go against the kryptonite.
Like I told you, and I'll get more into it later, I picked the Rams at the beginning of the season, so I am blindly, by faith, still committing to my
Do you
pick.
believe?
No. Not like, because if you look at if you look at these 49ers, first off, I got to know the injury report by Friday, so I can't tease on Wednesday when my final answer's going to be.
You gambling up here?
But still, here's the thing. Aaron Donald is a phenomenal player, maybe the best player at his position.
Turn that volume up.
Compared to everybody else.
Turn that volume up, yes.
But if you look at the one place you can try to attack Aaron Donald, go directly at him because he's light for a D tackle. You know this. Aaron Donald's playing at like 284. You played at 275, 280 as a DN.
Yeah.
So Aaron Donald is phenomenal. everybody got a weakness. Even Superman got a weakness.
Yeah,
Not even just a kryptonite, but just a sheer weakness. Aaron Donald, the one thing that he is not as dominant at, running directly at him. Von Miller, the one thing that he is not as dominant at, stopping the run. Jalen Ramsey is a lockdown corner, but that means you have to pass. So all of the Rams' greatest strengths, Sel, we might not even see them be strong because Kyle Shanahan is like, oh, this is what y'all do best? Don't worry, we're not even going to let you play with your right hand. You got to play this whole game left-handed. That is my biggest concern. It's not that the Rams aren't trending upward. It's not that the Rams might have figured out how to beat them, but clearly they haven't, not in these last 3 years. It's that what Kyle Shanahan does is out-coaching Sean McVay, and he's done it for 6 consecutive games.
I don't know, man. If you just look at it, like, this is the beautiful part about us going to practice, having to do all the film study, have to have the meetings, and people always look at football players, a physical sport, obviously, and think that we're practicing more than we're actually studying. We're studying much longer and much more than we're actually physically performing. So now let's just do this mental exercise instead of the physical exercise. Week 10, you only scored 10 points. Week 18, you scored 24. You look at you on third down, you go up, you double your third down percentage. Red zone touchdown percentage triples. Takeaways, all of a sudden you get from 0 to 2. Takeaways. Sacks, you go from 1 to 3. And then, let's be real, they were up 17 donut on them dudes. All I'm saying is you went from 10 points to 24 points, and now in the postseason, you're averaging 32. These aren't the Dallas Cowboys right now in terms of how they're performing. Look what they did to the Buccaneers. They saw weakness, they saw blood in the water, and they attacked the Super Bowl champion GOAT, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. These Rams are surging at the right time. You finally convinced me, and now you want me to go back on the other side. You got to make your mind up, man. Make it make sense.